Thank you. Senator Wicker.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Mr. Budget Director. The President, a few days ago, proposed a balanced approach to paying for sequestration in another way, involving revenue increases and a different approach to making the budget savings. What would be the score of the President's proposal in this regard?
So, Senator, we have not seen a specific proposal, so I don't know what it would really
I haven't seen a specific proposal either, so it's hard to score that speech that the President made, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
Now, on the other hand, the House last year actually proposed legislation and passed legislation to deal with the sequestration. Is that correct?
Yes, Senator, that's right.
Okay. Do you have an opportunity to score that?
We did, Senator.
Okay.
I'm afraid I don't remember the estimate that we provided, but we provided a cost estimate for that.
All right. And the Chair suggested earlier in this hearing that we avoid sequestration by restructuring the cuts to let them take effect a little more gradually and involve revenue there. Have you had an opportunity to score that proposal by the Democrats on this committee?
No, Senator. We have not received a specific proposal of the sort that you're describing. And if we received such a proposal were made public and we were to do an estimate of it, then you and all of your colleagues would see it.
Okay. Well, I think that would be very helpful, because it is frustrating to me, because on the one hand, our brothers and sisters at the other end of the building, at least have they taken the hit, propose specific solutions to sequestration. They've been scored, they've been passed, they sat over here in the U.S. Senate all last year with no action, and yet we have suggestions by the President, suggestions by our friends on the other side of the aisle, but they can't be scored, and we can't have any idea what CBO would think about those. Let me just say this. There's a lot of revisionist history when it comes to this period that I participated in as a member of the House of Representatives, where we actually had budget surpluses in the federal level. You would think from the Chair's opening statement that President Clinton came into office in 1993, proposed balanced budgets, got those balanced budgets, and we had 8 years of relative fiscal sense here in the federal government. The fact is it not, that President Clinton in 1993, in 1994, and 1995 proposed in all of those years deficit spending as far as the eye can see. Is that correct?
I think that's right, Senator, but my recollection of the specifics of those budgets is not very...
That's my recollection, too. As a matter of fact, in the 1995 budget proposed by President Clinton, who takes credit for the surpluses later on, it proposed over $200 billion in budget deficits as far as the eye could see. And then what happened is, in the 1994 election, the people of the United States elected a Republican majority in the House and a Republican majority in the Senate. And I know you don't get involved in politics, but let me just observe that Chairman Kasich was directed by the Speaker of the House to come up with a very tough budget bill. And in fact, the Republican majorities in the House and in the Senate got the President of the United States to buy into reconciliation, to buy into welfare reform, and on a bipartisan basis, after Republicans took control of the House and Senate majorities, that's when we had budget surpluses. That's when the budget surpluses began. They were never proposed before then by President Clinton. Now, also, I don't recall President Bush getting us into a war in 2001. I recall Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda getting us into a war in 2001. And as I recall, it was passed unanimously in the United States Senate that we would retaliate in Afghanistan and go into war. It wasn't a Bush war. It's something that we all did and all Americans supported. One dissenting vote in the House of Representatives. So I think it's disingenuous to have revisionist history when, in fact, we did have this war. We were in an economic recession in 2001. What would a tax increase have done to us in 2001 to pay for that war in Afghanistan? It would have been a huge drag on an already tenuous economy, would it not have?
Dr. Elmendorf, I'm going to ask you to sum that up really quickly, or there's several of us who are going to miss a vote.
An increase in 2001 would have had that effect, yes, Senator.
Thank you very much, Doctor.